8:45 p.m. This is the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation. The news edited by Lal Malvarachi and read by Mario Vijayavardhana. The headlines. The no-confidence motion against Minister Udaya Gammanpila was defeated by a two-thirds majority. MP Ranil Wickramasinghe says that all the ministers are responsible for the economic crisis that has arisen due to the increased oil prices. The government has planned to construct a new oil refinery. The President of the Maldives arrives in Sri Lanka on a 3-day visit. Sri Lanka confirms 43 more COVID-19 deaths and the toll rises to 3,870. Sri Lanka is to establish a judicial training academy. In foreign news, Jeff Bezos launches to space aboard new Shepard rocket ship. In sports, former England all-rounder Ricky Clark will retire from international cricket. The no-confidence motion proposed by the Samagi Janabalawege and the opposition against Minister Udaya Gammanpila was defeated by a majority of 91 votes. 152 votes were received against the motion and only 61 votes were received for the motion. Accordingly, the no-confidence motion was defeated by a two-thirds majority by the government. Minister Udaya Gammanpila said the opposition has not been able to present an alternative to the price increase of oil. He said that if the oil price formula was in operation, a litre of petrol could have increased to 179 rupees and diesel to 134 rupees. Taking part in the debate, MP Maithripala Sirisena said that there was no government that has not increased the price of fuel. All governments have faced the oil price issue. He said that a long-term program with a common agreement should be introduced considering it as a national problem. He said that all governments have taken loans from state banks. He added that the government and the opposition should act collectively on behalf of the people. MP Ranil Wickramasinghe said that there is a direct relationship between the oil price and the economy. There is an economic crisis due to the increased oil prices and all the ministers of the government are responsible for this problem. Minister Mahinda Amaraveera said that the oil tanks which were transferred to India will be taken back to the government. MP Anura Kumara Disanayaka said that the Petroleum Corporation is the hub of the country's economy. The present oil problem cannot be solved without increasing the capacity of the oil refinery. He pointed out that the present oil problem is a long-term issue for governments. He added that the government has planned to construct a new oil refinery in the country. The President of the Maldives, Ibrahim Mohamed Soli, and First Lady Fazna Ahmed have arrived in Sri Lanka today on a 3-day visit. A contingent of 15 top-level Maldivian Foreign Ministry officials have accompanied Mr. Soli to the island. A special flight chartered by Sri Lankan Airlines with the Maldivian delegates aboard landed at the Bandaranaike International Airport this morning. This news broadcast comes to you from the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation.
A giant interest rate for your fixed deposit that you deposit this month. Call 0718 800 999.
The Director General of Health Services has confirmed 43 more COVID-19 related fatalities that have occurred yesterday. The new development has pushed the official death toll due to the virus in Sri Lanka to 3,870. The new victims confirmed today include 17 females and 26 males. Meanwhile, another 1,062 persons have tested positive for the coronavirus today. This brings the total number of COVID-19 cases confirmed in the country thus far to 287,481. Presently, 20,826 infected patients are being treated at hospitals and treatment centers across the island. Meanwhile, the number of total recoveries has reached 262,828. State Minister Susil Premajanta says that COVID vaccines have been given to 27% of the teachers. Students will be given the vaccines according to the advice of health authorities. Schools will be opened in stages after the second dose of the vaccines was given to academic and non-academic staff. Students in the GCE advanced level classes and students sitting for the grade 5 scholarship examinations will be given priority. State Minister Susil Premajanta said that the ministry expects to cover the syllabus by October. The practical training for the advanced level subjects is expected to be completed after the reopening of schools. Practical tests will be conducted after written tests for aesthetic subjects. Practical activities that have not been covered for the science subject will be covered using video technology. Model question papers of all the subjects will be sent via electronic technology to all schools. State Minister Susil Premajant said in Parliament today that students who were sitting for the GCE advanced level examination for the second and third times have completed their syllabus. Therefore, it is not a problem for them to sit for the examination. That's local news.
Now, get your EPF loan information and service details via SMS from HDFC Bank. Wherever you are, being a state and private sector employee, to obtain EPF loan information and service details, just send a SMS mentioning EPF space, name and region to 0718 800 999. HDFC Bank, the bank for your home.
The main news story is brought to you by Siddhalepa Veda Mahatmya.
The Cabinet Office says Sri Lanka plans to establish a judicial training academy as part of a proposed move to develop the country's judicial system. The academy is expected to help strengthen and update the knowledge and skills levels of Sri Lanka's judiciary, the Cabinet statement said. Currently, the Sri Lanka Judges Institute serves as the only establishment for judicial training. As the Judges Institute's contribution to judicial training in Sri Lanka has not been satisfactory, the Cabinet of Ministers has approved a proposal by Justice Minister Ali Sabri to appoint an expert committee headed by Supreme Court Judge Buwanaka Aluvihare to obtain recommendations for the establishment of the Judicial Training Academy in Sri Lanka.
The main news story was brought to you by Siddhalepa Veda Mahatmya.
And now in Watchlight, the Education Minister Professor G.L. Pires said the closing date of accepting applications for Grade 1 for the year 2022 has been extended until the 7th of August. He said the decision was taken considering the prevailing pandemic situation, travel restrictions and difficulties faced by the parents. The specific application could be downloaded from the official website of the ministry, www.moe.gov.lk. That came to you in Watchlight. And now in world news headlines, Jeff Bezos launches to space aboard new Shepard rocket ship. Eid al-Adha prayers continue as rockets fired in Afghanistan. South Korean climber goes missing after fall in Pakistan. Billionaire Jeff Bezos blasted into space today in the first crewed flight of his rocket ship, the New Shepard. He was accompanied by Mark Bezos, his brother, Wally, an 82-year-old pioneer of the space race, and an 18-year-old student. They traveled in a capsule with the biggest windows flown in space, offering stunning views of the Earth. New Shepard, built by Bezos' company Blue Origin, is designed to serve the burgeoning market for space tourism. Eid al-Adha prayers continue as rockets fired in Afghanistan. Rockets could be heard exploding nearby during prayers in Afghanistan to mark the start of the Muslim festival Eid al-Adha. Worship at the presidential palace in Kabul continued despite the attack, with some appearing frightened and unsure of what to do. The prayers were being broadcast live and President Ashraf Ghani was in attendance. The attack came amid a rise in violence in the country as foreign troops withdraw after 20 years. A celebrated South Korean climber who lost his fingers to frostbite 30 years ago has gone missing during his descent from a mountain in Pakistan. Kim Hong Bin had just scaled the 26,400-foot high broad peak in the Kakaram Mountains before he is thought to have fallen. The climb made the 57-year-old the first disabled person to scale all the world's tallest mountains. An initial search failed to locate him, and a large operation is being planned. And now the main points of the world news segment once again. Jeff Bezos launches to space aboard New Shepard rocket ship. Eid al-Adha prayers continue as rockets fired in Afghanistan. South Korean climber goes missing after fall in Pakistan. That was world news.
Development News is brought to you by
Quality matters than price. So as an engineer, I recommend Melva RB500. It's made with virgin billets using the latest technology. Melva RB500, #1 in Sri Lanka. Truly Sri Lankan.
The National Sandalwood Garden built at Battarumulla Shri Jayawardhanapura was vested with the public this evening under the patronage of Prime Minister Mahinda Rajapaksa. The construction of the garden commenced last year. 294 million rupees have been spent to build the garden in 2 stages. There are 300 red sandalwood and 900 white sandalwood trees in the garden. Facilities have been made available for visitors. The vehicle park can accommodate 60 vehicles at a time. That was Development News.
Development News was brought to you by
Quality matters than price. So as an engineer, I recommend Melba RB 500. It's made with virgin billets using the latest technology. Melba RB 500. #1 in Sri Lanka. Truly Sri Lankan.
Sri Lanka made a good start to their innings, Avishka Fernando hitting a 50 but stuttered their way through the rest of their innings even as Charit Asalanka top-scored with 65 on a pitch that appeared even better for batting. India's bowlers used their wiles to keep making middle-overs breakthroughs, hauling Sri Lanka to 275 for 9. India were 85 for the loss of 3 wickets after 14 overs a short while ago. Meanwhile, Surrey's former England all-rounder Ricky Clark will retire at the end of the season after a 21-year career. The 39-year-old played 2 Test matches for England against Bangladesh in 2003 and 21-day internationals. He has played 668 matches in all formats, taking 795 wickets and scoring 17,750 runs, and also played for Derbyshire and Warwickshire. That was Sports News.
Contributory deposit of 1,000 rupees from NSB when your child enters grade 1. Open a Hapan Children's Savings account for your kid today. Higher interest. Conditions apply. Business News. Sponsored by National Savings Bank. The safest place for your money.
The Cabinet has approved to sell the newly introduced 18-litre domestic gas cylinder for 1,150 rupees. Accordingly, consumers will be able to purchase an 18-litre gas cylinder with a saving of 245 rupees when compared to the earlier price. Minister Bandhu Gunawardena said today that the local gas prices will not be increased, although gas prices in the world market could increase.
Business News. Sponsored by National Savings Bank. The safest place for your money. Contributory deposit of 1,000 rupees from NSB when your child enters grade 1. Open a Hapan Children's Savings account for your kid today. Higher interest. Conditions apply.
Economic news, courtesy of...
Saving money isn't easy when you have responsibility. That's why we promise to give you the best returns and guarantee on your investment. LOLC Finance Fixed Deposits. Maximize your savings. LOLC Finance PLC, incorporated on the 13th of December 2001, is rated SLA stable by ICRA Lanka Limited and is licensed by the Monetary Board of the Central Bank of Sri Lanka under the Finance Business Act number 42 of 2011.
Sri Lanka tea exports grew 13.96% to 26.99 million kilograms in June 2021, while first half exports grew 10.3% to 136.9 million kilograms, with Turkey retaining its position as a top buyer of Ceylon tea. Sri Lanka has earned $650 million from tea exports, up from $570 million. In the January to June 2021 period, the average free on-board price of tea was 933.18 rupees, up from 854.92 rupees amid a depreciation of the rupee.
I bought my daughter a laptop for her work by managing my finances. Whatever the expenses may be, I can't afford to miss out on life's special moments like her birthday or our anniversary. So you need to invest to make your family's future flourish.
Saving money isn't easy when you have responsibilities. That's why we promise to give you the best returns on your investment. LOLC Finance Fixed Deposits. Maximize your savings. LOLC Finance PLC, incorporated on the 13th of December 2001, is rated SLA stable by ICRA Lanka Limited and is licensed by the Monetary Board of the Central Bank of Sri Lanka under the Finance Business Act number 42 of 2011.
Weather report was sponsored by
Dialogue, in partnership with the Ministry of Education, introduces Nanasa, a trilingual educational mobile app with video-based lessons for grade 1 to A levels. Now your child can study with ease on your mobile with no subscription fee.
The Met Department says several spells of showers will occur in the Sabaragamuwa, Central and the Western provinces and in the Gala and Mathura districts. Showers, thundershowers may occur at a few places in the Uva province and in the Ampara and Batikalo districts in the evening or night. Fairly strong gusty winds up to 50 kilometers per hour likely across the island, and strong gusty winds up to 60 kilometers per hour can be expected in the western slopes of the Central Hills, the North Central and the Northwestern provinces, and in the Hambantota and the Trincomalee districts.
Weather report was sponsored by
Dialogue, in partnership with the Ministry of Education, introduces Nanasa, a trilingual educational mobile app with video-based lessons for grade 1 to A-levels. Now your child can study with ease on your mobile with no subscription fee.
And now the headlines of this news broadcast once again. The no-confidence motion against Minister Udaya Gammanpila was defeated by a two-thirds majority. MP Ranil Wickremesinghe said that all the ministers are responsible for the economic crisis that has arisen due to the increased oil prices. The government has planned to construct a new oil refinery. The President of the Maldives arrives in Sri Lanka on a 3-day visit. Sri Lanka confirms 43 more COVID-19 deaths and the toll rises to 3,870. Sri Lanka is to establish a judicial training academy. In foreign news, Jeff Bezos launches to space aboard new Shepherd rocket ship. In sports, former England all-rounder Ricky Clark will retire from international cricket. That concludes this news broadcast.